Alright, this is Cody from Excite Motorsports with the 2022 CF Moto U Force 1000 XL. Just a little more talking about this machine. We've got over 70 miles on it now. We took it for a little ride today at a local mud truck bog that they allowed side-by-sides and four-wheelers to. It's called Wallington in New York, Sodus, New York, that's out of. This is the machine after I washed it down with a fire hose before I go to clean it, but I just wanted to talk about some of the things I've noticed since I've had the quad and since I've been riding it. First we'll talk about a few of the very small negative things I've found so far. Last time we were at Tall Pines, I got home, I washed it, and I was letting it run and it was getting really hot. Well, little did I know, these have known problems for when you get into deep mud or water splashes up or mud splashes up on the radiator fan. That resistance of that extra water or that mud, that glob that got on the fan, creates extra resistance, which blows the fuse. So I'd blown the 15 amp fuse up there. You just take that front top off, there's a fuse box right in there, you swap out the fuse with a new 15 amp, no big deal. Talk about something petty. This seat, I flip my seats up a lot. I use the storage underneath a lot. Everyone complains it's a little bit of a pain in the butt because the seat belts get in the way. The only thing I've noticed is by doing it, so often with the driver's seat, there's a wire on here for your seat belt safety. It started to rub a little. I kind of twisted the wire so it would go to the back, but it's starting to rub on it a little. Not a huge thing, but just keep an eye on it. If you're constantly flipping that seat up and down, you don't want to end up chewing through that wire. One of the other things we'll talk about on the other side. Sorry, I'm not a professional photographer. So let's see. So on this back seat here, I lost one of the, you can see it rattles a little bit. There's a little push. There's a little rubber goes in here. The one here fell out at some point during riding. So I just got to get another one of those. It's not a huge deal, like I said, just something petty. Other than that, this thing's been really impressive. I haven't had any other problems, so if you want to call those problems, then that is what it is. Little fuse blown, in some of the seats where they flip up, got a little rubbing, and that back one, that little rubber cushion came out. Let's talk about what I put it through today. I talked about last time with the Tall Pines, we tested out a little. Today we tested out a little more. Maybe we got a little anxious. So like I said, this was a truck mud bog. This is not meant for side-by-sides and four-wheelers, but they did allow them to run there today. There was no trucks, it was just side-by-sides and four-wheelers. There's 3 smaller mud bogs. Fortunately, I had a guy take a video for me, and he was actually taking a picture. He took a picture right before I went in and a picture at the end because he thought he was videoing. So unfortunately, I don't have a video. If I find people that were there that post a video of it, I will post it so you can see it. But let's just say the 3 little ones, we went through the first one, no problem. Water and mud probably up to the bottom of our footboard here. It splashed in a little and stuff. The second one was a little deeper. The third one I was told was no deeper than the first 2, but we found out the hard way it was much deeper than the first 2. We made it, it's about 300 yards, maybe 100 yards, 300 feet. We made it about 80 yards of the way through, maybe a little more, and I got high centered in the center of it, which is the first time I've gotten high centered and actually stuck, which unfortunately happened to be under mud and water about this height, so just below the seat there. We were sitting there for about a minute and a half before I jumped out and grabbed the winch. The winch was almost all the way underwater. I got the remote control, the wireless one, and it worked just fine. Sent it out, hooked it up to another UTV, and he pulled me the rest of the way out. So we did get it stuck for the first time. That being said, I've put it through some good mud and stuff where I thought this thing was going to get stuck for sure, and it didn't. So needless to say, I'm pretty impressed. This thing's been handling fine. There was a bunch of side-by-sides there. We did some turning radius, you know, on the trails and stuff. Anywhere I had to back up, they had to back up as well. And those are 2-seat or bench seat, 3-seat. They're not the extended, you know, 4-seat and 6-seat models. Can-Ams, Polaris, Honda Pioneer, things like that. They all had to back up the exact same spot I had to back up. So for this thing being such a long machine, it's pretty impressive that the turning radius is still pretty much the exact same as most of the other machines you're going to find out there. So like I said, I'd keep this video short and sweet. Like I said, we got a little over 70 miles on it, and this thing is doing well. It's impressing me. Granted, we got stuck, but I got high centered. If I didn't get high centered, because there was kind of some moguls underwater, I think we would have got through it just fine, and that was pretty shocking, because not many other people want to go through that except for some deep snorkeled mud quads. Even though it wasn't super deep, it had its challenges. So needless to say, we're impressed. I want to thank Excite Motorsports for the quad again, and I just want to let you guys know if you have any other questions, anything you want me to test out, let me know. I'm putting this thing through a little bit more of a harsh test than probably the average owner would put it through, just to see what this thing can do, what problems we run into. But I have to say, if you're the average owner and you want to do a little bit of mudding, you know, you're not deep snorkel mudding and going crazy every weekend, this thing will make it through. It might not, it might look big and it might look heavy, but I'll tell you what, it sure is impressive. So let me know what you guys think. Yeah, I appreciate it. Again, sorry I'm not a professional photographer, so my videos aren't that great, but thank you very much.